Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Created Puzzles Grind on chess.com. As always, I'll try to solve the puzzles as quickly as possible and then talk about the solutions. So let's begin. Wow, this is very complicated. I don't see something that would be winning for sure. Everything just seems to be not great. So I must be missing something. Wow, I really don't see anything. Yeah, I really don't see anything, but at least if I take the bishop, I don't lose immediately. So yeah, I'll just try that. I'm really confused about what's going on here. Yeah, and that's correct. And really, now I really have no idea. If I take the pawn, he has this check. I have to go here, and he has that check, and I can't block. So I must go there, and then he has another check, which is almost mate, and I just think it's bad. So I have this check, but really, what does it do? So I suppose it's one of these moves, but which one could it be? mean, this kind of threatens that, which would be mate, so maybe this is not so horrible, but still my issue is that he checks me, I go here, he checks me there. Maybe I just escape. Yeah, I'll try that. If it's wrong, but it's my best guess. And it's correct, luckily. Now he defends like this. Still tricky. Wow, what a crazy puzzle. Damn, it took so long, but yeah, it actually makes sense. So here, like, I mean, quite some moves, like, which you can consider, like taking the bishop. Like, you have two ways to take it. Maybe one of them works, but really, I just didn't see anything decent after this. If I check him, he just pushes the pawn, and yeah, I didn't see anything good here. And really, I was calculating this check also, but he just blocks with the bishop, and I also didn't see anything. So yeah, that's why I really thought that it's probably not these two moves, and really, then just taking the bishop is the only remaining move. It seems decent because he has to take back, and now I was considering this move, and really I was scared that if I did this, he would have this and this and this and this, but really here he doesn't have any decent follow-up. He can go here, but I just, well, then it hangs the queen really, and he just has no more checks. I mean, even if I go to g4, I'm still winning. So really, yeah, that's why I thought that he can't really mate me, and that's why I went for that move. And really, it's very powerful because if you see, the queen is covering all these squares, and really, if I got one more move, this would be almost mate. He would have to block with the queen, but then I would take with my queen, and it would be mate anyway. So let's say he does some random move, then I have this, he has to block, and this is checkmate. So really, it looks quite nice, and if he tried to somehow move the rook to defend, really it's just mate on that square also. So really, he goes for the best move, probably just g6. And then it's a bit tricky. You have to calculate this move, and once you check, really he doesn't have that many options. He has to either block with the queen, and this was the trickiest one. If he blocks with the queen, really what you have is, I was calculating here, and yeah, it seems like it's winning, but really this is just a simple move. You just take the rook, and yeah, he has to do something, but you just pin the queen, and yeah, it's completely winning. And if he doesn't block with the queen after this check, well, if he goes there, then really you just attack the queen and threaten mate on that square, and yeah, he can't prevent mate and keep the queen, so he has to sack the queen. And yeah, that's all. So a very beautiful puzzle, really quite some things to work out, but once you think about it, it really makes sense. So let's keep going. Oof, so this is crazy once again. Maybe I'm missing some parts to it. Whatever I'm trying to calculate, it seems to me that the king just runs, so I must be completely missing something. Completely. Yeah, I just don't see it, and once again, it's taking very, very long, so really, I'll just have to guess that this somehow works. Because the other way I see for sure that it doesn't work, so yeah, I'll just try, and if it's wrong, it's wrong, and I'll be interested in why it's something else is correct. Wow, and that is incorrect. Wait, is it this? Wait, it's just that. Wow, so I missed. Wow, this is just mate in one. Wow, I completely missed it. Wow. So this is really just insane what's happening in this position. For a while I was calculating the queen sack. He takes, I calculated this, this, and this, and this, and this, but here the issue is that she just escapes. He just goes to f3 and I saw this, and yeah, I just can't check him anymore, it's just lost. So that's why I thought that the queen sack immediately doesn't work, so really this was the only other move. And yeah, I was calculating this, and then this check doesn't work because the queen just takes, so this is the only check. I must do something. He has to take, because if he goes here, of course, this is just mate. So he has to take, and then, well, of course, it's important to not take, because then you're just completely lost after this. But you have to check him, and then that's the only move, and then you take. He has to go here, and really what I missed was this check, because this is just checkmate, because the queen covers the h-file and that square, and the bishop covers the g1 square, so this is a very important move to find. I didn't see it, so I didn't see the forced mate, and really it's just the only move I saw. I saw this and him running, and really I thought, I don't know, maybe I have something, but as you can see it's completely lost. I have to find this mate on one, and then it's just checkmate. So wow, very beautiful, pretty difficult, requires some pretty deep calculation, but yeah, if you saw it all the way, then wow, it's just very nice and beautiful. Alright, so this is fairly simple. Really, this is the only check I have. I mean, this is also a check, but it just hangs a knight, so it doesn't work. Really, then this is the only other check, and the queen covers the f-file. He can't go to these two squares. Of course, he can't capture my knight also. And then if he goes into the corner, then it's mate immediately. And yeah, it's a bit more complicated if he goes here. Yeah, you don't really have any other checks besides this. I mean, it's natural to bring the queen and just attacking the king, and then he goes back into the corner. It's the same mate. It's what's more interesting is if he runs. If he runs, then you have to check here, and it's mate. So really, either way, it's just mate. But yeah, a bit more interesting would have been this checkmate. Yeah, so fairly simple and beautiful puzzle. Let's keep going. Oof, what is going on here? So this seems like something close to a solution, but really what's the difference between what I do first, the knight check or the queen move? I suppose the knight move is more forcing, so yeah, I'll just guess that that's the solution, because yeah, it's a check and then I go for the same idea, so let's try. Wow, and it's incorrect. So, what did I miss? I can bring the rook in, but it's also incorrect. Wow, this must be it. Wow, just yeah, I completely missed. It's a very beautiful tactic. I go here, and yeah, if he stays on the back rank, really, I can just go with my rook and pin the queen. And really, what I missed is that he can't capture it because I just have this simple move, a knight fork, and I pick the queen up. But really, yeah, I wonder is that move just horrible or not? Let's see. Yeah, what if I play this? Apparently, it's a draw because he has this check. And apparently, he just defends. Yeah, so yeah, it's just too slow. Yeah, I have to go there immediately, and really, this knight fork is the only winning idea. So yeah, very beautiful. I completely missed this knight fork. It just picks up the queen. So wow, very beautiful. Not so good of me to miss it, but yeah, still let's keep going. Alright, it seems like the site crashed, so let's remember. Oh, alright, it's back. Okay, not sure what happened, but seems like we have a new puzzle. It's actually very similar to the one we had very recently. It's literally almost the same, actually. Wow, like it's literally almost the same. What a crazy coincidence. If we remember this puzzle, the pieces are so similarly arranged, it's really crazy. If you see the small picture, that's the puzzle we had, and really the pattern of checkmate is actually exactly the same. So, fairly crazy that we got a very similar position, but really this act just makes sense because then you just bring the queen in, he has to go back, and once again the same pattern. Oh, here you can't even go to g1 because the rook covers it, but you just bring the queen back to exactly the same square, and the bishop covers that, and it's just checkmate. So yeah, very interesting that we got a very similar puzzle. But yeah, at least we learned from our mistakes and got this one correctly. Alright, so this one was so high rated. It's a bit crazy because it's also fairly simple, really. This is, I mean, we have this check or this check, but it just hangs a piece. It just he takes the knight, and really it's not great. But you can notice that the king is just out of space, and we conveniently have the check on this diagonal, and the bishop is supported by the queen. So if he tries to push the pawn, it's just mate, and if he takes with the knight, well, he has to push the pawn later, and it's still mate. So yeah, it's surprising that this puzzle is so high rated, but yeah, let's keep going. This is crazy, but I think this move has to be correct, because that check just doesn't seem to work. He just blocks with the rook, and then it's very similar, but it just seems like a worse version of the same idea. So I will hope that it's this, because once again, like, it's very deep, the calculations I'm trying to do, but yeah, seems like this might work out, and this just doesn't work at all. Yes, I'll just try. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Yeah, and this is what I was calculating, and it's really tricky here. I don't see the win, he just seems to always escape somehow, and that really bothers me a lot. Maybe it's just taking the rook. Obviously not, because it will be mate in one. So has to be either this or this. So hopefully it's at least a 50-50, but I don't see how any of these checks work, and wow, it's really taking a long time on this puzzle too, but I'm just trying to understand how I can win here. And I just don't see it. Just seems to be close, but I just can't mate him. So I'll just grab the material and hope that, yeah, it's somehow winning. And now I don't see any mate, but if I take the rook, at least it's even. Because really, my rook is hanging. He no longer has mate in one. But I don't really have any follow-up. My rook is hanging, and ideally I would have some check which protects the rook. And checks him, but I don't have such a check. Here he just takes my rook. I mean, takes my queen even. This check just hangs the queen, both of these, and I really have no rook checks. So I guess I just must take the rook, and he can't mate me. That's my best guess, and then I still have a great mating attack on him. So yeah, that's just my best guess. If it's incorrect, it's incorrect. It's correct, and here I just take the rook, I'm pretty certain. And he takes my rook, right? Then I have this check, and I suppose I'm somehow fine. Because I don't see any other move. Really, I don't even have any other legal move besides blocking with the queen. Which doesn't make sense, because then he has mate in one, so... Yeah, if he does this... really, I think I have to block. And it's a check, so it forces a trade of queens, and then it's just winning. Wow, guys, we actually crossed 2600. I took 14 minutes on this puzzle, but it's actually correct. And we crossed 2600. Wow, wow, wow. Let me save that picture in Paint. Wow, 2600. That's crazy. And what a puzzle to bring it home. Wow. Wow, this is just insane. It's just insane, this position. Like, wow, with 2600, if you're here watching me, when I reached 2600, wow, thank you so much for watching. It's a pretty big accomplishment in my eyes. For me, at least, it feels great to be recording these episodes with you guys, sharing my thoughts and my progress. And wow, we reached 2600. So wow, if you're watching this moment, once again, thank you so much. And yeah, hopefully we can improve even more and reach even greater ratings. So really, this puzzle is just so crazy. So this is the only move. Like, this doesn't work because he just blocks, and yeah, I have nothing. So really I have to go for this check. It's my best bet. And really, as you can see, like, the other moves are just mates. Like, if he goes here, really, I think, yeah, apparently two moves are winning, but yeah, I just take the rook, seems like the simplest move. And yeah, somehow I would like to mate him pretty quickly, but it's not so simple. I need to not be too hasty, and yeah, I somehow made in a few moves. But really, this is the most interesting line. There I was calculating all kinds of stuff. First I was looking at this, but then I saw that he just goes here. I have this check, but he just goes here, and I have nothing. If I go here, he really just blocks with the rook. I saw this, and yeah, I have nothing. And if I go here, really he can just block with the bishop, and yeah, I can take this, but it's just not great. So really I didn't go for this. I thought it doesn't work, so I thought, well, at least I can check him and grab the bishop because I saw that the other ways I just don't win any material and I don't mate him, so I just went for this. And yeah, apparently if he goes here, yeah, I could see that I just can't mate him because the rook is hanging and I can't both check him and protect my rook with the queen, so I just grab the material. And yeah, he can't really do much if he does this. I just take. Really, oh, I somehow thought that maybe he instantly attacks my queen, but he's actually on the wrong diagonal. And yeah, if he checks me and attacks my rook, I'm very lucky to have this just bringing the queen back, which is also a check, so he can't just take my rook. He has to take my queen, and then I'm just up a rook, and yeah, with the pawn just completely winning. So really, it took me a while to consider all the moves, but I'm glad that yeah, I somehow got it right. And wow, 2600 once again. Wow, let's finish today's puzzles. Only 3 left, I think. So yeah, let's continue. Wow, and the pawn delivering checkmate. Oh, so this is pretty simple, just a forced mate. He doesn't really have many moves. If I go here, the queen just covers all these squares, and then king f3 is really the only move. And then you have to be careful not to like hang your queen somehow like this. It just hangs your queen. And yeah, I don't really have any other checks that make sense. This is the only check, and it's also pretty beautiful. The queen covers these squares, and conveniently the bishop covers the f7 squares. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Then he can't block this check. He must go to e4, and really then you have to be careful not to play a move like this, because then he would just go up and you would have nothing. But you also have this check with the pawn, which is not very expected, but yeah, all the other squares are blocked by the queen and the bishop, and his pawn is also blocking him and his bishop, ironically. So this is just beautiful checkmate by the pawn. Not very common, but very nice looking. All right, 2 more puzzles to go. Wow, plus 15. I mean, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to see such a streak. I'm not really used to gaining so much rating in one day. I'm only used to like minus 15 and you get the puzzle wrong. But yeah, this is actually also pretty straightforward. It's just an endgame. We both have queens, and yeah, you can notice that my pawn is pretty close to promotion. And then really, this is, I mean, I have this check also, but yeah, I didn't really have time to consider it because I thought about this check because then my king protects my queen and it just looks interesting. And what that does is also makes it so that after he moves his king, my queen is hitting his queen, and immediately this idea of just taking the queen comes to me because then he has to recapture. And as you can see, the e4 square is quite far away from the pawn, and then I just move out of the way for my pawn, and I really just yeah, make it so that my pawn can safely promote and his pawn is too slow. So really, if he just moves anywhere, I just take the queen and I just move out of the way. Really, this check. Oh, I wonder what's the difference between these two moves actually, because I didn't calculate g2, but this just seems natural. And the difference is that if I go here, yeah, now it makes sense. I really got lucky that I played g3 because the difference is that if I go here, if it starts racing, really the difference maker is that I promote with check. And as you can see, it's a check and I win because I just collect the pawn on the next move. So he moves anywhere and I just collect the pawn. Or I can even go like here and he promotes, I collect the pawn, doesn't really matter. But if I actually played king g2, then it would be really bad because then he just races and I promote, but it's not check. So it's a draw if I play correctly, and it's just very, very unfortunate it would have been. But yeah, thankfully I didn't block the diagonal. Actually, I didn't really do it mindfully, but yeah, I suppose I should have really considered what's the difference between these two squares just to understand it better, because sometimes you might play a move that feels natural and there might be some difference like this one and you just lose the game because of that. So you need to be careful and think, is there a difference, especially in puzzles between two moves? And yeah, that's just a very beautiful solution. All right, the plus 15, 5 in a row. Wow, having a wonderful day today. All right, one last puzzle left. Let's go for it. Yes, I'm pretty sure that it's this move, unless I'm missing something. And really, yeah, I suppose the video is getting quite long, so really I'll just go for the move, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. But it seems to work in the end. And of course, it's incorrect. If I don't take long, of course, the move is incorrect, and yeah, that's just how it works. So really, take your time, guys, because you'll just lose a lot of rating, and yeah, there has to be a reason why it's incorrect. So let's try and look for something better. So it's neither of these moves, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, I'll just take a hint. I'm really. Apparently, it's rook elsewhere. Might be here. Right, and the reason is yeah, I couldn't really tell you the reason, but yeah, let's see now what's the difference between these two moves. Yeah, that would allow another checks, and this just is safe. So yeah, so first of all, let's see why my move doesn't work. I thought it's winning, but yeah, if he takes, what I thought I have here was this move. Apparently he has queen d5 check, and he comes back to defend in time. Yeah, he just plays queen g2 and defends everything. So yeah, I missed this queen d5 check, because otherwise, as you can see, I'm mating him. So yeah, I missed this check, and he comes back to defend. Yeah, which doesn't feel too bad to miss that, but really, wow, this move is pretty crazy, because then you threaten to take the bishop and checkmate, because he can't. Yeah, like here he has to try something. Yeah, if he tries this, rook a3, I mean, you just take the rook. But if you get like one more move, and let's say he plays something random, like, I don't know, what could he play? Like, I don't know, some crazy move like this. Then you just take, and really he can't take with the pawn, because it's just checkmate. So that's the whole idea of this move. And yeah, his king is out of squares, and this way the bishop is just stuck in there also. If he tried to move the bishop somewhere, let's say here or whatever, then really you would just yeah, actually, what's the move here? Apparently it's not so simple. If he moves the bishop away, you have to play g3, and apparently somehow you're still winning, because now the rook blocks this diagonal, and the queen can't come back to defense. So yeah, actually it's not so simple, and yeah, it takes a while to see the mate, but in the end somehow this is all too much. So yeah, once again, a very crazy move, but a beautiful move, just rook f3. So yeah, very pretty complex puzzle. It would have taken me quite a while to try and figure it out, and really I'm just very happy with yeah, the rest of the day. I didn't expect to do so well today, but yeah, we got to 2600 for the first time, guys, today. So yeah, it's a very special day, a happy day after some some difficult days in the previous episodes. Yeah, like 2 days ago, there was an episode called Horrible, and that was for for a reason. But yeah, as you can see, even if you have some bad days, you just keep coming, keep grinding, as the title of this playlist says, and yeah, eventually you improve. Just try to learn from your mistakes and stay positive and stay patient. So yeah, once again, if you got this far into the video, I really appreciate it. If you liked it, you can like it, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also check out my Twitter, and the link to it is in the description. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you so much once more, and I'll see you next time.